Hi everyone, welcome back to 7 by 7, the Tribal Habits video blog tackling big issues in the learning and development space. I'm joined again by David King, the CEO and founder of Tribal Habits. How are you today, Dave?
Jordan, I'm fine. It'd be interesting. It looks like it's about to thunderstorm outside as we record today's video. So if you see flashes, you'll know it's the lightning.
Okay, so long as the walls don't shake, I guess.
No.
Dave, today we're going to talk about reducing training costs, which is a really big topic around kind of how do you get the most out of your training dollar. There's heaps to cover here. I don't want to get caught up in intros. We're going to try and hit your 7 top ways to reduce training costs. So why don't we dive in with your first one?
Okay. Let's tackle a really easy one. Right now, as we're recording this, we remain in the middle of COVID-19 situation. And a lot of organizations have awoken to virtual sessions. So a really easy way to cut costs is to transfer workshops into webinars. So this allows you to keep the instructor-led training and the live nature of the training, but it pretty dramatically reduces the overall costs. Webinars aren't free. You still need the platform that you're going to use to do that. But the costs of that platform can be amortized over, dozens, hundreds of webinars, and you eliminate just a ton of other costs along the way. And so I think it's a really easy win for a lot of organizations. You don't need to eliminate every single workshop. There's a space and time and place for, actually physically getting together, but it's a real easy win on a lot of fronts.
Great. So obviously there's a lot of cost that comes with instructors. How can people avoid that cost as much as they possibly can?
Well, as much as they possibly can, have no instructor. That would be total elimination of the cost. So in this case, then, you're right. We could save money by removing instructor-led training and switching to online learning. So online learning is not free. Either you need to subscribe to ready-made content or you need to create your own. But it's much cheaper usually than an instructor for repetitive issues. So if you're constantly having to do training on certain topics, then over the medium term, online will be significantly cheaper than instructors, even with webinars. There's also some other benefits too that, I think we discussed in other videos that online excels at things like teaching theory, and it's available 24/7, and it's got some other advantages that instructors don't have. But so again, an efficiency gain can be to eliminate instructors and replace them with online for highly repetitive training, or where you're doing generic training and you could just use some ready-made content.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so we've touched on content a little bit now. We're discussing moving training online. How do people go about effectively getting content in that space?
Yeah, well, if you want to save money, you need to, do it yourself is always cheaper than someone else doing it for you. In many things in life. And training's one of those things. So if you want to reduce costs, you've got to eliminate external content essentially and rely more on your internal capabilities to do that. And so this means less public workshops, less public webinars, which are very expensive because they have built-in marketing costs. So if you send someone to a workshop that's put on by an industry body or just an external training organization, they've got to not only just pay the facilitator in the room and all that, it costs them money to market that, to get the bums on seats. And so you're paying a marketing premium in there, which is a very inefficient spend of training money. And definitely external consultants, if you're using external consultants to create training for you, that's really expensive. It's probably the most expensive way to create training. So the ability for you to bring it in-house and create some sort of training in-house using tools that you can use and feel comfortable with can be a huge change in the budget.
Yeah, and I guess that extends to purchasing content, like ready-made content as well, to a certain degree, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, I think there's a space for purchasing content, but you got to get bang for your buck. So buying one-off modules, I don't think is a really good idea. Subscribing to a library is usually a ton cheaper. It's the old kind of, what does it cost if you go down to the shop to buy a Blu-ray? It costs you $30 to buy one Blu-ray, or you can subscribe to Netflix for $10 a month. So get everything Netflix has got, or get 3 Blu-rays. They're your choices. So
exactly.
Subscription's more important than ownership these days. So I think you're right. either subscribe or rely on that internal creation process instead.
Yeah, okay. So that does play nicely into the next question, which is around pricing models and payment models. This space can be quite cloudy with some organizations. So let's talk about pricing and payments and just what people should look out for when they're trying to keep an eye on their costs.
Really two ways, I think, to bring down subscription costs if we're in the online space. One is to switch to an annual plan. And you usually get discounts if you can do that. That's not going to suit everyone. And sometimes actually a monthly pay-as-you-go might be better for some organizations, but you'll get discounts on an annual plan. But most importantly is to move away from a stored user model to an active user model, so that you're only paying for users in your platform who are actively using it, aren't just sitting there stored. And for some organizations, if you've got 500 staff and you're on a 500 user stored plan where you're paying for every user every month, regardless of their activity, if you kind of look at your logins and you realize that maybe 150 or 200 staff log in every month on average, and if you could get then a 200 user active model, which would cover all the 200 users you need every month, different 200 users every month, while still storing all the records of your 500, well, you can get 60% saving in your costs overnight for no impact whatsoever, just by having an improvement in your subscription model.
Excellent. Are there any other areas that shifting online helps in terms of reducing costs? I guess there's some peripheral things there as well.
Yeah, even if it could be shifting online, or it could just be moving to internally driven training, is gonna save some costs. And I think if you've got to save money, you've got to be ruthless on it. I think 30 years ago, everyone went to training. They wanted it to be outside at some outside training venue. They wanted food put on. Everyone got traveled there. If we come internally, you don't provide food at training. You don't need to. Yeah. People are quite used to dealing with their own lunches and getting food every day. Yeah. They just need a break to do that, and you just tell them in advance. You don't have to hire external rooms. You can use internal rooms. You can eliminate workbook printing. You shouldn't print workbooks anymore. There's just really no need. Digital books, people can type on their computer or laptop to make notes. And most people want to take notes their own way in something like OneNote or Word or Evernote or something that they're using. Why not let them do that? We can eliminate travel with online. There's a lot of costs where we can eliminate, and the remaining spend gets increasingly focused on training and not non-training activities.
Yeah, great. So that's 6 points. What's your 7th and final point that you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, let's get super lean. If you want to save money, you've got to recycle. It's a good lesson in life, and I think it works with training as well. So let's say you've gone internal and you're doing a lunch and learn. So let's reuse the lunch and learn as much as we can. So the first thing is we're going to video it. So set up your lunch and learn so it can be videoed, and then we can take the video and edit it and put it into an online training module in your learning platform. And so that one bit of kind of content gets reused several times. Alternatively, if you're creating standing operating procedures, create them immediately as training materials rather than creating them in a Microsoft Word document and then having to redo them elsewhere. So that one tool is both the procedure document and the training document at the same time. And if you've got workbooks or PDF documents or slides lying around that people have done in the past, that's your starting point to get all that internal conversion done, and just dive into what you've got and reuse it.
Excellent. Well, that's the 7 points, and that's all we've got time for today. So if anyone's looking to reduce training costs, be sure to head over to tribalhabits.com. You'll find a great guidebook there that talks you through all the points that we've spoken about today and a lot more. It's a really good resource for anyone looking at online learning and online training. And thanks for your time, Dave. I think it was another great discussion today.
It flew by, Jordan. That one seemed to go really fast.
I think I stood out of the way a little bit on this one. So.
Maybe that's what it was.
All right. Well, thanks everyone, and until next time, we'll speak to you soon.